Hey family, it's Rhae and I'm back with another word. I pray that you guys have been blessed and I pray that you had a blessed holiday. Pray that you enjoyed your time with your family if you spent time with your family, and the Holy Spirit if you spent time alone. And so the title of this word is Healing and New Life, a refreshing of that promise. And this word comes from a dream that the Lord gave me on December 9th of this year. So take this word back to the Lord always, test the spirit behind every word. To confirm his word is for you, to give you specific details, insight, and instruction. And I'm going to get into the dream. So like I said, I had this dream on December 9th of this year. And in this dream, I saw myself walking down the street. It was nighttime and the street lights were on. And I had a baby in my arms. Well, in my arm. So I had the head of the baby in my hand, and then the rest of his body was laying across my forearm. And I had an umbrella in the other hand. We were walking down the street, and I was walking with haste, like I was walking with a purpose. So as I'm walking down the street, it began to drizzle. And again, like I said, I had an umbrella, and I saw that the baby was getting wet. That began to make me worry. I felt my motherly instincts kick in this dream. I just felt like I wanted to protect this baby. I wanted to help this baby, protect this baby. It felt like maybe the baby might have been sick. The way that the baby looked was like his eyes were closed and he kind of just looked drained. He wasn't really moving too much. With the rain, I could feel myself in the dream with the rain coming. And as being outside at nighttime, I just felt like the baby was cold. And I just wanted to make sure the baby was safe, make sure the baby was warm. And so I looked up and I saw a car coming down the street, and it turned into a driveway. After I looked back from this car back down, the view went back down to the baby. It was a boy, and he didn't look older than an infant age. I want to say around a year, because it wasn't like a newborn, but it wasn't toddler age yet. I'm continuing to walk down, and so as I saw that car, it gave me hopes, and I began to walk faster. And as I got closer to the house that the car pulled into, I looked down at the baby, and like I said, I had an umbrella, and I pulled the umbrella over the baby. First, the umbrella was over myself and the baby. I removed the umbrella from over myself and tried to get the baby completely covered with this umbrella. I noticed that a couple of droplets of rain still landed on the foot of the baby, which made me again adamant about trying to protect this baby. So I did not like the fact that the rain was still touching the baby. I wanted the baby to be completely covered. I wanted the baby to be completely warm and safe from the rain. At this point, I began to get closer to the house. So now I switched the baby's position from laying with his head in my hand and body over my forearm, from that position to now sitting up in my arms. So as I'm changing the position of this baby, I noticed that the baby began to smile. A small little smile began to grow across the baby's face, and his face began to light up. It was almost like the difference between a dull picture or like someone's face looking pale, and then the color coming back to their face. It was pretty much that. When I say his face lit up, the smile grew across his face, his eyes opened. And so as I'm changing the position of the baby, that's what I noticed. And at that point, I found myself standing in the driveway of the home that the car pulled into, and I saw two elderly, one man, one woman, getting out of the car, and they were walking into their home. I waved them over and I asked them for help, and that was the end of the dream. So the Lord gave me two confirmations. The first one was 329 in Strong's, which means to kindle afresh, resuscitate, or to rekindle. And 330 in Strong's means to revive or to flourish again. So the highlights that the Lord brought to me for this dream was 1, the baby, which represents a promise, a blessing, a gift. Also, like I said, the baby was in an infant stage, not newborn, but not toddler. So I would say about a year was the age of the baby. So about a year that has to do with this blessing, this gift, or this promise. And then the umbrella. This umbrella was a royal blue that represents protection, a covering, a mantle. Again, I wanted to protect this baby from the rain. I wanted to make sure the baby was warm and covered and safe. And also healing power. Again, I said the baby looked dull and pale and drained and tired. So healing power of God, and also wisdom. The baby sleeping, like I said, his eyes were closed. And at that point, as I'm writing this, the Lord gave me the word dormant, which means having normal physical functions suspended or slowed down for a period of time, or as if in a deep sleep. The baby awaking and his eyes opening and the smile coming on his face means a new life, a refreshing, or being brought back to life. And then the elderly couple at the end help, wisdom, guidance. And so the message is pretty much straight cut and forward, I think, from this dream. And so what the Lord was speaking to me through this dream was that for some of you, there has been a gift, a promise, a blessing. It could be something that was promised to you over the course of this last year, or something that you have, a promise that you have stepped into over the course of the last year or so. It may be beginning to feel lifeless. It may be beginning to feel like things are slowing down, or things have come to a halt or a stop. It may seem that there is no hope, or you may feel hopeless, or like it's just not going to happen if it hasn't happened for you, or if you are in it. It may feel like that excitement or that something within it is dying out. I should say dying out and becoming lifeless. The Lord is saying to you through this dream that He's about to breathe life back into that thing, back into that promise. What He's spoken to you, He's reminding you that it is not dead. And for the thing that looks dead, He's about to bring life back into, or feels dead, He's about to breathe life back into that thing. For some of you, this is going to come by way of help through another person or people, some type of connection. That connection is what's going to help bring this thing back to life, or that connection, that help, that guidance, that wisdom that person or these people are going to bring is what's going to help you reach that promise, or bring that promise to pass, that gift to pass in your life. And so the scripture that the Lord led me to for this dream was about the Shunammite woman, and it was 2 Kings 4, and I'm going to start at verse 15, and it says, "So he said, 'Call her.' When he called her, she stood in the doorway. Then he said, 'About this time next year, you shall embrace a son.' And she said, 'No, my lord, man of God, do not lie to your maidservant.' But the woman conceived and bore a son when the appointed time had come, of which Elisha had told her. And he said to his father, 'My head, my head.' He said to a servant, 'Carry him to his mother.' So he had taken him and brought him to his mother. He sat on her knees till noon and then died. And she went up and laid him on the bed of the man of God, shut the door upon him, and went out. Then she called to her husband and said, 'Please send me one of the young men and one of the donkeys, that I may run to the man of God and come back.' And so she departed and went to the man of God at Mount Carmel. So it was, when the man of God saw her afar off, that he said to his servant Gehazi, 'Look, the Shunammite woman.' So she said, 'Did I ask the son of my lord? Did I not say, do not deceive me?' Now Gehazi went ahead of them and laid the staff on the face of the child, but there was neither voice nor hearing. Therefore he went back to meet him and told him, saying, 'The child has not awakened.' When Elisha came into the house, there was a child laying dead on his bed. He went in, therefore shut the door behind the two of them, and prayed to the Lord. And he went up and lay on the child, and put his mouth on his mouth, his eyes on his eyes, and his hands on his hands. And he stretched himself out on the child, and the flesh of the child became warm. He returned and walked back and forth in the house, and again went up and stretched himself out on him. Then the child sneezed 7 times, and the child opened his eyes. And he called Gehazi and said, 'Call the Shunammite woman.' So he called her. And when she came in to him, he said, 'Pick up your son.' So she went in, fell at his feet, and bowed to the ground. Then she picked up her son and went out." So that is the verse. And so, and that will be in the description box if you like to go read that on your own time, meditate on that, and just allow the Lord to speak to you through that. Where whoever this word is for, the Lord is reminding you, the Lord is speaking this to you right now. Whatever that gift is, whatever that promise is, whatever that blessing is that you are waiting for, or that you have stepped into, and this is something that's something to do with the past year or so. And the Lord is saying He is breathing life. He is about to breathe life back into that thing. There is a resurrection about to happen in that relationship, in that marriage, your finances, in your health, in that business, your employment, in your family, in your life. He's about to breathe life back into it. Something that He's spoken to you, or that He has given you already, and you may have seen a decline in it. It may have seemed to begin to be drained, or look lifeless, look like nothing was happening, look like nothing was growing, look like nothing was working. The Lord is saying He's about to come through for you. And for somebody, I'm getting emotional right now. For somebody, this is right now. The Lord is breathing life back into that thing, back into that gift, back into that promise. He's breathing new life back into that thing just for you. So be encouraged. Hold on to this word that the Lord is speaking to you right now. Pray this word blessed who it was for. Feel free to share this word with anyone that you feel may need to hear this word. Take this word back to the Lord and test the Spirit. Ask the Lord to confirm His word for you, to give you specific details, insight, and instruction concerning your individual situation. If you're new here, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and also hit that notification bell so that you'll be notified of any future uploads when I post. And I'll be back soon with another word.